Hey guys, it's Abby from the Bead Place, and today I'm going to show you how to make these fun Bling bracelets. So stay tuned. So these are the bracelets that we're going to make. You can make really fun projects with leftover beads. If you just have one bead left from a project, you can use it as a centerpiece in a bracelet. So I have a collection of beads right here that I'm going to use. I have a Swarovski crystal, some caps, a few spacers, and then crystals to surround my focal bead, and then also to be the kind of finishing bead on my project. I also have about 1.5, a loop and a half, I should say, of 2¼ inch memory wire. You can use whatever size memory wire you want. And I would recommend memory wire, not hard wire, just because it's going to hold its shape better. I have two approximately 3-inch sections of jewelry tube. And that is basically all I need for the supplies for my project, and the tools that I'm going to need are a round nose pliers, a chain nose pliers is optional, and then also a memory wire cutter. Scissors could also be helpful for cutting the jewelry tube. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is take my memory wire and string my focal bead to the middle. I'm going to surround it with the caps and a crystal and then a daisy spacer, and then the same thing to the other end. Now, if you find it easier to start with the daisy spacer and then the 4mm bicone, and your cap, then your focal bead, and so on and so forth, do whatever floats your boat. So after you have your little section of beads here, what you're going to do is string on your jewelry tube. And that is very easy to string on. Sometimes what happens if you have a long section of beadwork, what you'll have to do is trim the jewelry tube so that it's a little bit shorter. Obviously, make the sections even. Trim your jewelry tube so they're the same length. And don't try to trim it while it is on the memory wire, but that should be obvious. So, after you have it on the memory wire, what you're going to do is finish with whatever kind of little design you want. I'm going to put a daisy spacer and a crystal. I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and you can curl your end inward or outward, doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. I've got my round nose pliers, that's the one that has the rounded noses. I'm going to grab with the very tippy top of the pliers, and I'm also grabbing the very end right here of the memory wire, and I'm going to curl the end and try to make the smallest loop that I possibly can. And it does take some hand strength, so don't think you're doing something wrong if your pliers slip a couple times. So we've got a teeny tiny little loop there. Let me see if I can focus. There we go. And then sometimes I even like to make the loop a little bit smaller by just smushing it a little bit with my chain nose pliers. There we go. Just a smidge smaller. So then notice how I'm pushing those beads up to the loop. I'm going to push the jewelry tube close to that side as well, and push everything over to that side. So now I have a longer end on this side. I'm going to string my daisy spacer and my 4mm crystal, and then I'm going to do the same thing to that other side. So I'm going to start with my round nose pliers. Again, I am going to grip the very end of the memory wire with the very tip of my round nose pliers. I'm going to brace the wire with my fingers and start to curl in. And once it reaches or almost reaches like that, you can either call it quits or do a little bit of a smush with the chain nose pliers to, whoops, to tighten it further. Oh, well, I'm not having luck. There we go. Just like that. So then you have an awesome bit of bling bracelet. Thanks for watching.